one off abatono one sanking candy.
Na abato komisa ho nsensem no ena man kanega na mampina Ghana fo ato aba ediama no wura John Dramani Mahama edi to abato komisa nim se wonfa kokuduro enye na dwuma
enen komo ba ne mu ba bedi enem ra chebedwa wo mo akọ break kakra mo kwa homgie mu wo mo kwa di bronya na mo hwe nim se ne finance minister edi mini budget abetodwa na so nya dia finance minister di tudwa na chesa nwe a abaya oba no general ebosom no kra no onye sika entua abayadwumafo ka eno ho nkomo ene ba bedi
awie ensem bi so eka we hu bi akenkanfo ye me Sadat Mohammed mene
David Ofori Safo ye bogura ensem na ye ko Ghana mrahye bidwamene mrahye bidwafo eko asetra na speaker Right Honorable Alban Babin wamo nkomodi mu eko na wie no di tudwa kyerese afe 2024 yi die enene dai twatwa amrahye bidwa wamo eko asetra sanse bronya fashion no eduru hono eno nti wamo makonya sem no mabusua nkodi bronya no emomu na emomu general abusua we enim no ne da toso mienu wamo nsan akọ asetra bi mu.
Honorable members, the sittings of this meeting have been adjourned to the 2nd of January 2025. It is so declared.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I wish to start by saying that the NPP government has failed to comply with Article 180 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana to present the expenditure in advance of appropriation. In the spirit of good transition, it is expected that the outgoing president, acting pursuant to Article 180 of the Constitution, would have acted in good faith and bring before this Parliament a proposal for expenditure to cater for the first quarter of the year 2025. This was very important because the Appropriation Act for 2025 will not come into force on 1st of January 2025. Sadly, President Akufo-Addo planned to leave the public service uncatered for in the first quarter of the year 2025. However, let me give assurance to the people of Ghana and all stakeholders that the NDC government that will take office on the 7th of January 2025 will act with dispatch to cater for expenditure for the first quarter of the year 2025.
The finance minister brought this letter to Parliament, Office of the Clerk, 23rd of October. The letter is dated 22nd of October. This is responsible government. This is a government that is responsible, that wants to act within the confines of our laws. This was brought. I will give a copy to the media. It is as a result of the NDC's lawlessness. That is why we are where we are. And we are calling on Mr. Speaker to take control and demonstrate his firmness to stop the lawlessness of the NDC minority. Enough of the violence, enough of the chaos. That is why what happens next week, we are saying that as a responsible government, anytime Mr. Speaker convenes Parliament, it's not within our powers to convene Parliament. Anytime we had recalled Parliament, these same people were chastising us. They would even announce that they wouldn't even come. You recall, before the elections, we recalled Parliament to do government business. They said they wouldn't take any of that, and they didn't come. Mr. Speaker wrote in response to my memo that because of the closeness of the election, the Parliament could not be reconvened. So we've done our bit and will continue to work in the interests of Ghanaians. We are saying that if we come back, if Mr. Speaker should recall Parliament, we would ensure that in spite of their lawlessness, we will table the expenditure on account of appropriation.
Na ahomeji amrasibedwefo ekoyi enam so ma dom kese no ba no dani wonmunyamfo Alexander Afenyoma Kens echirim se omudom kese ne de ka ma ye krado so mo betina se no ma ye dwuma edaso mo ma Ghana na emom speaker na wasini gina ye na so speaker gina isimpo no enya de omudom kese no mobo ejuso.
Since Parliament resumed, the NDC minority has done all it can to frustrate government business. In Parliament, the procedure when a matter is introduced is to lay the paper, a referral made to a committee, and when the committee is done with its report, same is presented, debated, and a decision taken. The strategy of the NDC has been that in spite of all these procedures, they will not allow any paper to even be laid. Neither will they allow a report of a committee to even be tabled, debated, and all that. We've had Supreme Court nominees whose vetting Parliament has concluded, and we are to table that report for motion to be taken on. They say they won't even allow the all-important free SHS bill. They again say they won't allow that to also be laid, let alone for the committee to take it for the bill to be considered. The Environmental Protection Bill, we all know how they frustrated it, as well as the $250 million facility from the World Bank to support the financial sector. We've also had the 1D1F, where they themselves brought proposals to us, and government side accepted those proposals, which proposals led to the raw materials components being taken out, resulting in huge savings. And as a result, the committee completed its work. Again, the NDC lawless minority will not allow the report to be taken. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker himself directed that the NDC minority cannot obstruct government business on the floor. Neither could their leadership obstruct government business of the House, on the House. Today, we've had several engagements with them. And for us, all they want to do is to bring chaos to the House. Mr. Speaker, therefore, concluded that he would want to adjourn the House. We were opposed to this adjournment, but he is the Speaker. Now there are one major outstanding matter: the expenditure in advance of appropriation. In other words, the expenditure in account. To break it down, because the budget for 2024 ends on 31st December, there is a need for us to approve some expenditure on account until the new government comes out with its budget. We want to tell the people of Ghana that we as Democrats are ever ready to proceed to do this expenditure on account. There is no way we will ambush our own fortunes as a nation. It is rather the lawless NDC minority who have done all they can to obstruct government business.
Na yetwa ensem no eso ene Accra High Court eko asetra na ne nyina ne se NDC amanyuko no e de nsem bi kodan court no se Electoral Commission epese Ablikuma North mrashibedwa akonwa bato course no wo mpese mo san kenka bi de fe no coalition no na nkabe a High Court momo sa akwanya no na Ebra Accra High Court eko asetra no wo mo ama Electoral Commission akwanya se Ablekumanov abato no yensan enkenkan biemu se Ghana for ebe kaya December boso when the toss edu ena electoral commission womo kenkan abato e wo Ablekumanov no womo de tu dwa kire se oba hema irabna oben a ogina mu enra NDC no wono na adi nkunim e wabato a e course no emu na NPP de no yem na shibdwani leader na kwia osu afriye edi nkugu nanso chairperson the man electoral commission yem ame GM Mensa ebe betu dwa kire se Ablekumanov polling stations no 281 nanso emu 219 pe na omkinkan ya omugina so ede ball erabna obendin se won na edi enkunim ewomu na ise 62 polling station no womo ankenkan anka ho ebi na enhwe de course so ewo court on.
He himself requested for a copy of the agenda. He perused it and said now it has come to his attention. He still said they should go ahead and move their mandamus application, and now proceeded to say that declarations that have been made already, they should go ahead and recollate the results in those places. In fact, you appreciate that we made him aware, and in fact he himself took the 6 copies of the agenda application and went through each one of them. So he is fully aware that there were agenda applications pending, but he still said you go ahead and give his decision, and therefore made orders directed at the EC and the IGP to provide the necessary security among others. You also heard today when we came to court, we brought a judicial review application seeking to quash the purported invalidation by the EC of the 5 constituencies that results have been declared. We attached the video recordings of all the declarations, exhibit A to E, before the judge. We pray that he should even play it in court. You all heard it, that you go ahead. Now, with respect, the judge said the docket was brought to him yesterday evening. You all heard him. And we said, okay, if that's the case, watch the video of the declarations. Now, what is and should be placed on record that the Electoral Commission never filed any affidavit in opposition. Because how is Jane Mensa going to deny her own letter in response to the minority? But that notwithstanding, the judge says, without any contrary evidence from the EC or a deposition by the returning officers in their respective places, that the declaration that they made was fraudulent. But the judge said it was fraudulent. Where he got the evidence of fraud, I don't know.
What is the remedy?
Because my understanding is that at least somebody must come to court, put a rival evidence of fraud before you, or duress, and prove it. This morning, the EC only came and said on point of law. In fact, the Electoral Commission's own lawyer never talked about the videos. But the court said those elections are tainted with fraud. How he came to the conclusion that there was fraud, I don't know.
Empeso bako enkono bi wo ho no mo yeto ba ne wiye no ebesi ne ene de abato komisa etimide empeso ano abato no susunsanso apiem wonten so me yehu nipa odi nkonim anampo nipa odi encho ne no no opanyini foforo nam kwa so wo ba Ghana fo ato abade ama no wura John Dramani Mahama ede to abato komisa nim se wonfa kokudro nya adwuma e mo obi ehunu no nipa odi nkonim no wonfo ne nansi form na undi ho nkomo e ma Ghana fo so ehunu bi.
Sometimes bureaucracy has a way of slowing things down, and I know some of you get frustrated and all that. I can assure you that I'm going to have a very open door so that we can help you remove any obstacles that are in the way of the good relations and economic cooperation that exists between our countries. There are a few outstanding issues arising from the election. As you are aware, 9 constituencies are in dispute. And we think that the Electoral Commission should act in a principled manner. You cannot change the rules when it suits you, and apply different rules when different circumstances exist. There was a particular case in 2020, and the Electoral Commission came out clearly that if a declaration had been made, it was not the duty of the Electoral Commission to adjudicate it. The courts were the right place to go. And so if a declaration has been made, it doesn't matter under what circumstance. They are saying that somewhere under duress. In the case of Techimansa, it was under duress. There were soldiers in the collation room. There was chaos in the collation room when the declaration was made. And the same arguments were passed that, there should be a recollation. And the Electoral Commission said, no, there can't be any recollation once a declaration has been made. In the same circumstances, declarations have been made. If people have a grievance, they must go to the courts and redress those grievances there. We don't think that the goalpost should be shifted depending on who is at the other end of the stick. There's one particular case in which there was no declaration. We can understand that. And so the Electoral Commission has to make a determination what happens. Is there going to be a rerun? How are they going to be able to collate those results? And so we think that there must be fairness and justice in everything that we do. And so that's a concern we have, that those issues will be resolved as quickly as possible so that we know what the final outcome of the election is.
Afi bronya no akakakra bi na edru so na UTV kase tie hangu monten so ne Ghana ade shedi nkomo womomo eto bronya niema ene womomo ton niema na ensemse na wonde to yenim
ase na ni nansam baby sa we bo na den ne ebo no akoso sa because sometimes no be cost store no ono so atum because oka obeka che say dollar raise ena sefa ena san crofo mienu aso bi ni chireba so mu na akoso pe e afeti ye niam nyina bibia akoso enti na ma like niam no ne bo no koso no eno tie na meka ni say this time no Yashanyami, Blonya need the bed in Kakra. Omo ska they enjoy it. But yeah, ya bakro sana yanya kakra no no nebe say beka say Blonya need the anyede because who say senipan betobia so benya bi da bi di Blonya no. But senipan na beto abede end of the day beka say Blonya we die. I share down ko yi. Say o man ni mu say the o man ni mu ayedin amaye no. Ye ba kuro mu kura sika ye de baaye no. Ye ti mi fanto ade. E bia sika ye kita no ye de ba kuro mu say ye ba beto ade. O ba bedru no ade ba beto no endru. Wo sika ne so enso to. Nti ma se sia o man ni mu ayedin amaye ama. Enti mi nhwe ye mayiye. Ye pesanka ye manyi na nya bebe papa bi no mu si. Esu san so o man ni mu ayedin nti no. Ye man ni enti mi fo mu ngina bebe papa. Enti ye sra ye mpanyimfo. Say they say aban foforo awaba no ya gi na wa atu yesra ne yensa gu yensa ye mu se o mehwe man so ye emfa maye
ti we de ya ntihwe so na ne amanso no market no ye slow say na ne boy ye di nti no ti say ntumai 2 years ye 30 Ghana enti 2 years 30 Ghana na ne pakuno to kodikoko matela o se tela se mbeji 100 Ghana enti no market ne yes slow to me into already so be wa kwan ho a na wato na wakọ ne baby
ye nto si de enyafo fisi anu ne edidi bronya party ase ti bronya de nto si de enyafo ena fie bronya nsika ne de politics enti ye nto ade ama ye ndi bronya amo ye ton sen ebi ye 4 million 6 million sesi aloka ye ton 18 Burkina way, you turn 40, 20, 38, 30. Ntosi di December bia. Ni edi bronya ni wie mumo January ni mudia. No mama na bebu.
Market no. Omo ni nam krom sa but omo ntoshe. Omo nto bibia, omo na mo bebrebe, omo ntoshe. Adent na sa se awra ho. Enu ama nko ya amaye.
Ha, afi akwa pra beto ye. Enti anointing one shop say o chani customers na nyankopon shop ha UTV ena na ye gira ha omo na abai na me chomo say na bronya ba atufo na to for customers nim digade mumla anointing one shop bronya ba enso aduma ne de bibia na me marketing de more than enso nyankopon empa entonkodro dumle no na nyankopon are ase no hanu nyam enti yɛde nyame ase sɛ afia de akwa beto anointing one and the customers to me chame customers nyina mo hwɛ anointing one shop a mo nie ndi dwadie and dem nyankopɔn hyira afi enkwa meto ya afi so biem nyankopɔn hyira mo nyina ɛwɔ Yesu Kristo demonti enti sɛ openta de papa tu akoton dia and dem kanfo sɛ bla anointing one shop
Adwadifo oton ayemmoa ewo malam dwadibia na wode atudwa se asafi bronya no dwadie ne nkosokra na osusu se dollar eni sifa ekosoro na sidi na hoden wo from exchange rate na ka ho bi na ma ayemmoa no ne bo wo soro Ghana fo ntimi mpim bonten so na ombeto bi na so nyina mu no osi achia embuye edes na bebuo nyina na akanefo abeye nan na bronya na duru ho nto obesere Ghana fo se mo pe ba bi na mato ayemmoa malam dwadibia mo ba abuso ho
ebedika ha Mala market no se ofri kaso eba ubesi a ubewura insa ubisa obi ase ba bi omoton ponche na ombe kire market na achi ena Mala market ho na ponche ni depot ye di free Burkina ena ye di ba ha na obi abetu na odi akoba bia aboy wo aponche wo dwan na ntwekura bi wo ho nti aponche ni range from 800 going 7 de obenye ba ba kitwa last year kan say 600 ni we mama for ni enya ayi but ebeswa ebe kitwa nti but every 800 de ko de obenya aponche obetimi e de bibia ebeyi ti yabo no so ne bo ofom ahia na akra obi abetu koton ti de won omo obi a odi aponche be di Christmas no ye be say ne say opa abo a ne bo ofom a ombra Mala market
ano so obenya no 1250 we so obenya no 1003 ena we so obenya no 1003 we so obenya no 1003 kese no de ukita be 4000 ya be ma wo de te se na ntwie no no ye wholesale na asa hanom na akwa na munti no amanfo ohu ha entira ye pese entira ye pese we ukisa 1350 a obenya we ukita 1002 a obenya mo ano na wo ho no nti amanfo bronya no china efi china ko nyina mu nyina mo mra ha
500 de ko anim
500 de ndie wa mu nim se de o man no TNT 500 de wunya 500 de wunya gese 3000 ko na ubenya aboa 1002 1003 800 na ubenya bebe ketwa wani nso ba hun se
na mpojine boy den sa
anu na esefa no ayede koto no ene dollar no nti eduru yesesa sefa na ya na ne bo no edin nti 5000 se gina 1.350 nti wudi ba Ghana sika ma 5000 sefa no
na mpojine munya bi o Ghana
da bi Ghana ye ni bi bolga kro kwa no nkitinkiti te se nkokọ no enu no wudi guka mu mfa meduru kwa no ahwe na ni nyina awu nti aya ye ko Burkina no to mo nim sefa mu ni nyina no nim se sefa na de eden ye de tom wa no e wo Burkina no na ye pie nso e be duty nso ne bo odin
we na ya Ghana de no we bolga de ne bi nti we no oba yetuma de ma 800 850 ono no so omo ba no mo so we no so ba 800 no so we say na obanya na de
na 800 cities
800 ba ko bia 800
wow no mo so sa do
sine nam no de uhunu sa no ko no a ne nam ne de che nkase na wa han nti we Ghana de no
we say with man and 2000 we say 2000 we say 1008 we say 2005 ne price no crampo the farm 15 nso wo ho enti say ndwano ne boanya den senia me kira wono se wo ne boanya den enti say senia ya pese government mbra no one boy say yakoto we yakoto ne safer nso safer nso so ama akosoro dollar ne kosoro safer nso di akire nti ama bia yayi nti government we buy no ya be sre ne say one bomb din senia obeya dollar ne be kofam kakra na safer nso akofam mai na senia ya betima ya yagima no na price na bafom pa Christmas dia omombra ha omoba ha ombenye normal to fofofo
20 there will be so depend layer on the type and the size no more do come at ultimate 290 brothers so depend from 160 going 160 yes 150 ne na te chese sha. 160, 180, 200. Because if you have one difference, you know, the same thing. Empire, you're born as a matadi.
Awie ka se bo na si ekwamu atene nkomo twetwe etwa so ede mamade kodi entia e wo se sabre na ka fotosanfo Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam obepie mu mrase badwafi na mini budget twato kora e wo MPP aban mu no omude ne di no ontim bepie mu e wo mrase badwafi mpenifo sim kunya obedi ho enkomo nyi wa fidie no mfiri ha etwe ho abasisia